Greetings all, and as always, love and light within. Greetings all, and as always, oh, I've already done that part. Oh, and again, as always, love and light within. Now, I do love a payday. So today's Friday, and I got paid the remainder of my wages from the shift that I'd done previously. And one thing that I've become quite used to now, and that is, previously I was, constantly looking for employment. I've spent like 3 months trying to look for a full-time position in this reality, but the system keeps denying me access to a full-time income. And at first I used to think to myself, what, is there a reason for it? At first I used to think to myself, am I being punished for something that I have no idea that I've done? Because remember, I've done nothing. The only thing that I have done is I have awoken to what is going on, to this said reality, to how this reality controls people. And upon realizing that, I also realized how the rich became rich by using the active income that they got to start off with and buy assets with it. And then they use those assets to create leverage. And then what they do is, by creating leverage, they use their assets as what's the word I'm looking for? As collateral to take out debt. And then when they take out debt, because they have taken out debt in a form of a loan, they pay zero tax on that. And 9 times out of 10, once they've paid that debt back, they will be allowed to get more debt. But the key thing here is when they take out the debt, what they do then is they buy more assets with it. And then the assets appreciate over time. And because the assets appreciate over time, they use the money that they receive from the assets that have been appreciated over time to pay off said debt. Then once that said debt is then paid off, they are left with the assets and the debt is cleared. They are left with more assets and the debt is cleared. And then they just keep repeating it. So the reason why I brought that up is because at first I used to think to myself, once I had an awakening. Now, if people that know this face or have heard lies about this face or have heard stories from other people, remember, there are two sides to a story. There is the side that people will say, and then there is the side that I would say. Now, I find it quite hilarious that all of the people that have been told lies about this vessel, about this face, one thing that I've realised is not one person wanted to know the other side. And remember, there's always two sides to every story. And I realised that when I grew up and my father left when I was 9, and I only heard one side of what my father was like through a person who physically hated him. So her narrative, aka the biological mother, her narrative, her polarity was a negative story upon what she told me about my father. But funny thing is when I got to experience what it was like to live with my father, because I found out that he wasn't dead, nor was he in prison, he was alive with another family. And when I got to experience what it was like to live with him, I found out his side of the story, and also his version of what he thought about the human mother, the biological mother. So there's always two sides to every story. So first of all, I want to say that I'm not crazy. I'm the only one that's not crazy, because everyone here that is attached to the system believes that they have to go to work ridiculous many hours a week, not have any time for themselves apart from the 2 days that they give you. One of them is a Sunday, so not much things are open on a Sunday, and simply just be okay with that. But I tell you this, since the system has stopped me from getting a full-time position or allowing me to work with... Now, I've got all the experience. I've got as much experience as you can imagine. I've got over 21 years of experience in different aspects of different places in different companies. And in those, I've got so much transferable skills from that. It makes me laugh that every time I apply for a position and I'm unsuccessful, all that just shows me is that place is not right for me now. Because that's the way I look at it. Like when you've applied for 60 positions, and in those 60 positions you've had 4 interviews, and even after the interviews you're still unsuccessful, it just shows you one thing: that you're not meant to work, you're not meant to be an employee anymore. Now, I've tried running a business twice, failed twice, but I learned quite a lot from those failures, and I learned what not to do from the first business I tried to build and failed from that. Then all of the things that I learned from the first business, I then tried to do for the second business, and I failed at that. But I failed twice at trying to create 2 businesses. That's fine. I've learned quite a lot from those lessons. And the funny thing is as well, is it's not about what you know, it's about how many times you fail and keep going. How many times do you fail and keep pushing forward? And believe me, I failed a lot. I've lost a lot. You know, I've sacrificed so much for my awakening. You know, I've lost 2 flats. I'm currently living in a car. So when people think that I've been handed all of this stuff, trust me, I haven't. I've had to work. I've had to put in the work. I've had to do the shadow work. My current account says it all. I haven't been handed any money. I haven't been given any funding. I haven't been gifted with millions and millions of pounds as of yet. And, you know, I'm still waiting for the long shot. Come on, lottery. But that's just a game that I play. I'm not putting all of my eggs in that basket, because it doesn't matter. I'm just playing the long game. However, I've experienced quite a bit. So for those that think I've been given all of this stuff, I'm going to be cautious for time. I haven't. My current account, I've got £15 in one current account because I got paid today. And then I've got 20 quid in another, and 30 quid in one and 17 in another. So I haven't been handed any money. But anyway, I'm going to do part 2. So as always, love and light within.